The Mekong is a major river flowing 4,900 kilometers through 6 countries from its source in China. The river provides water and food for the 60 million people living in the Mekong Basin. Freshwater fish, in particular, are an important source of protein for the rural villagers. In the lower reaches of the Mekong River, water levels fluctuate greatly between the dry and rainy seasons due to the tropical monsoon. The fish of the Mekong River have adapted to these huge annual fluctuations in the river environment. Some of the fish migrate long distances, similar to salmon. The Mekong is second only to the Amazon in the amount of biodiversity of fish it supports. It is estimated that more than 1,100 species of fish live there. Moreover, freshwater fish, uncommon anywhere else in the world, inhabit these waters. What supports this abundance of life is the complex and diverse environment, including the many tributaries that flow through the Mekong Basin, as well as their floodplains in Tonle Sap Lake. The Mekong River has rich natural resources, but it now faces a serious environmental threat. Laos is a landlocked country that lies north to south along the Mekong River. 70% or more of the country lies in the Mekong Basin. The amount of water from Laos flowing into the Mekong River accounts for more than 30% of its total volume. In Champasak Province in southern Laos, the Mekong spreads out broadly. It splits into narrow branches and forms a large region of wetlands. This region is called Siphandon. It provides a habitat for diverse aquatic organisms. In landlocked Laos, the Mekong River is the main source of fish. Siphandon is one of the most prosperous of these fishing grounds. Siphandon is located close to the Cambodian border. The freshwater Irrawaddy dolphin has attracted concern from many people. Unfortunately, only about 80 of them remain in the Mekong River, and it is feared they may become extinct. 5 of the dolphins are living in Laos. The local people value the dolphins, believing them to be reincarnations of people.
แต่สมัยก่อนๆพุ่นคือว่าพ่อแม่ขับไล่บ่ให้อยู่บ้านอยู่เมืองนี่ล่ะมีเป็ดมีไก่มีกบมีเขียดมีนกมีหนูใส่ในแพร่รองมาคันรองมาแล้วเฒ่าขานางธิดาเอิ้นว่า2พ่อเมียเนี่ยเมื่อมาฮอดเหวนี่ผีเนาะคือว่ามันมอสิตกเหวนี่แล้วเพิ่นว่าจำพวกนกมีความรู้สึกว่าแพร่ของพวกเฮานี่อาจจะตกเหวแล้วแต่มันมีนกใหญ่กว่าหมู่นี่นกยูงอยู่ถึงมีแต่ว่านกใหญ่ตัวนี้มันเป็นนกที่ว่าใหญ่กว่าหมู่เนาะมีอิทธิพลสั่งให้แพร่นี่ลงไปตามแปลเลยมันหนาแบบมันหลายสัตว์เนาะที่ว่าเฮ็ดให้เฒ่าขานางธิดานี่สนใจป้าปล่อยตามแปลเลยพอดีจังว่าแพร่ของเฒ่าขานางธิดาตกลงเหวตายว่าไปเกิดเป็นปลาคา
ผู้เฒ่าผู้ชาย
ผู้ขาปลาคานี่มันขาวขาเนาะ บัดนางสีดานี่เกิดไปเป็นนกสีดา
The Khan Falls blocks the movement of fish, but there is one channel called Husahong that they can pass through year-round. Husahong, a fish corridor, is considered an excellent fishing spot among the locals. A small carp called ba soy comes up from Tonle Sap Lake during the dry season, bringing the villages to life. During this time, the villagers crowd into the banks of Husahong and spend the entire day fishing. They use nets called song and traps called oo. Large fish can be caught during the rainy season. People line the banks of the muddy river. Each family has its own space to set wing traps, called li by the locals. The places for this kind of fishing are called luang. Some of the luang are passed down from generation to generation. The Lao people who fish with li live in a matrilineal society. The husband moves into the wife's house after they get married. Almost all of the farmland and other property are divided among female descendants. The luang are inherited by the women. Migratory fish, lots of which are caught at the same time, are dried or smoked for preservation. This is one way the people can earn cash. According to a 2008 survey, the income from a luang with 1 li in Siphandon can be as much as $5,000 to $10,000. If many fish are caught, poor single women who lost their husband or elderly villagers may receive fish from other villagers. The fish support the food security of vulnerable people in society. Now there is a plan to build a hydroelectric dam at Husahong. Laos is a landlocked country with a small population. It does not have the economic policy option of constructing industrial estates close to the sea to develop export-oriented manufacturing industries. Because of this, the World Bank and other development agencies have insisted that an appropriate model for the development of Laos is to develop hydroelectricity using the abundant waters of the Mekong. The electricity can be sold to surrounding countries. At present, a plan to construct more than 60 hydroelectric dams is being put into practice. The aim is to make Laos the battery of ASEAN. The Don Sahong Dam is one of these dams. The Don Sahong Dam, planned by the Laos government, will be a 260 megawatt hydroelectric dam with a height of 22.5 meters. As dams go, it is small, but its impact on the ecosystem will be enormous. This is because the dam would block the movement and migration of fish. Migratory fish of the Mekong River are known to begin their migrations when the water level rises in the rainy season. Also, some fish take rising water levels as a signal to begin laying their eggs. Water releases by hydroelectric dams are timed according to demand for electric power. Unnatural water level fluctuations caused by the dam will have a negative impact on spawning fish. Dams are already causing many problems in Laos. The Nam Tun 2 Dam, which began operating in 2008, was partly funded by the Japanese government through the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank. The dam was built with the goal of eliminating poverty by gaining foreign currency. However, The dam has a very large reservoir. This area was once a richly biodiverse forest that was known as the Galapagos of the East. Dams built in tropical regions cause water quality to drop by holding the water back. Especially in the first few years of water storage, large amounts of greenhouse gases are released because of the decay of organic matter. Dams not only stop the flow of water, they also prevent the movement of soil and sand down the river. This upsets the circulation of material in the downstream areas. Dams have been built one after another in both the main stream of the river and in the tributaries in the Mekong Basin. This has reduced the amounts of fertile soil reaching the lowest parts of the river, the Mekong Delta, and the sea. The sea fishing industry is in fact being badly affected by these dams. The environmental assessment of the Mekong River dams did not investigate impacts on the sea. Just one dam in the Mekong Basin has destroyed a rich ecosystem, along with the culture and livelihoods of the local people. The Moon River is a tributary of the Mekong. The river used to be full of life with more than 270 fish species. The people living in the roughly 60 villages near the meeting of the Moon and Mekong rivers once specialized in river fishing to make a living. The Moon River was considered one of the most important spawning grounds for the Mekong River fish. The Pak Mun Dam was built with support from the World Bank at a point about 5.5 kilometers from the meeting of the two rivers. The main purpose of the dam is electricity generation. It is a run-of-river dam, as the Don Sahong Dam is also planned to be. This means it will not create a large reservoir. Because the Pak Mun Dam did not store water higher than the level of the Moon River at its fullest point in rainy season, a few residents were required to move. It was at first a socially and environmentally friendly dam. However, the Pak Mun Dam stopped the fish migrating from the Mekong River. The place it was built was originally a large set of rapids. When construction began, many explosions were set off, sending rocks flying into villages nearby. The villagers had to move their villages. However, the authorities did not think about compensating the villagers, so at first there was no compensation given. But the residents continued to demand compensation for several months and finally received money to cover the costs of relocation and new housing. The explosions in the rapids killed many fish. Although it was said that the fish would return once the dam was completed, the migratory route from the Mekong River was lost.
ปลาหลายมันหาบ่ได้เต็มที่ของเขาขึ้นมันก็ขึ้นจังได๋ล่ะคันมันไหลมันก็ไหลแห้งไหลมองบ่ได้บ่ปกตินะ
And fish numbers were dramatically reduced. A fish ladder was built to mitigate the impact, but it was almost completely ineffective. The fisheries department tried to stock the river with shrimp and fish, but their efforts failed.
อยู่ทั้งลุมนี่พ่อสิเห็นปลาแบบที่ประมงเขาปล่อยทั้งเทิงบ่คะ
บ่ค่อยเห็น
บ่ปลาตะเพียนปลาหยัง
แต่เพี้ยนนี่ก็บ่ค่อยมีนะมีแต่ผมไล่มาคู่มื้อนี่ก็ไล่ยังมื้อเช้าผมก็ได้แต่ปลาธรรมชาติ
เป็นปลาธรรมชาติ
Also, Because the flow of the river slows down where it is stored behind the dam, sand and soil in the water sink to the bottom of the reservoir. This is called sedimentation. On the other hand, the water released from the dam contains little mud. Thus, the water picks up more sediment than it would under natural river conditions. This is known as the hungry water phenomenon. For this reason, erosion downstream from dams becomes more serious. Also, as water is released according to electricity generation needs, the water level may fluctuate several times during one day. This fluctuating water flow also causes bank erosion. It became clear later that the Pak Mun Dam was only generating at 1/3 of its capacity. This was because when the water in the Mekong River increases during the rainy season, the water level downstream from the dam rises. Electricity cannot be generated because there is no difference in the water level above and below the dam. The Pak Mun Dam project was supported by the World Bank, but when the dam's output was calculated, the bank failed to take these natural phenomena into account. The dam's economic benefits were hugely overestimated. In 1999, to try to have the sluice gates opened and natural conditions restored, several thousand residents built a hut at the dam site and began holding demonstrations. This movement, which continued for 3 years, moved many hearts. A variety of people, including researchers, philosophers, and artists, supported the residents' request for the Pak Mun Dam to be decommissioned and the river restored to its natural condition. As a result of this large social movement that rocked Thai society, a new environmental impact assessment was made. Researchers recommended stopping the dam operations and opening the sluice gates for 5 years. After which, a final decision could be made. But the Thai government did not accept this and ordered the sluice gates to be opened for only 4 months a year. The dam continued to operate without bringing any economic benefits at all, and the local people are still forced to live with the difficulties. Like the Pak Mun Dam, the Don Sahong Dam is planned to be built at a site with a thriving fishery. It will be the same kind of dam as the Pak Mun Dam. Hu Sahong, where the dam is to be built, is the only channel fish can use all year round. The environmental assessment says that a separate channel should be dug for fish to pass. Also, if problems arise, they propose revising the dam's design in response. The plans to solve the issues, however, have never been tried before in the Mekong Basin. It is also doubtful whether reconstruction of a dam built at a huge cost and operated for the purpose of selling electricity would be possible for the sake of the fish. Moreover, construction of the dam will use explosives and produce other noise. Dolphins are extremely sensitive to sounds, so if construction starts, they will be badly affected. In the worst case, it is feared they may die. That would bring about the extinction of the Irrawaddy dolphin in the Mekong River. Even if the dolphins survived the construction period, the decreased number of fish that they rely on for food would threaten the Irrawaddy dolphin's existence. The dam is to be built on the main stream of the Mekong River, a few kilometers from the border between Laos and Cambodia. The dam's assessment, however, says there will be no effects that cross the border. The Mekong Delta in Vietnam is one of the world's finest grain-growing regions. It was built up by the rich soil carried by the river. Salt damage from rising sea levels has become a serious issue there recently. A reduction in sediment flow in the river due to the dam would threaten the delta further. Fishermen in Cambodia and Thailand are also expressing concern over the impact on migratory fish ecology. The Irrawaddy dolphin and the people living in the Mekong Basin both rely on the same Mekong fish for their survival. People have lived along the Mekong River continuously for centuries. But now that is all threatened for the sake of a few hundred megawatts, which could be produced in many other ways. More convenience for society should not have to mean the loss of nature or local societies and cultures. Haven't we become the prisoners of thoughts such as, we need to sacrifice for development, or we must accept that nature will be lost if we want development? The outcome of the Don Sahong Dam construction project will test not only the rationality of the Laotian government, but also our own.